You don't know how lucky you are that the authority hasn't found you yet. But you aren't going to last long in a firefight against the authority with that standard defibrillator in your chest.
Well, we like to say that we make games that we like to play. And we feel like if we make a really good game that we would like to play, that there is an audience out there for that game. So you could argue that Fallout 3 was a very hardcore role-playing game that was just for people who like hardcore role-playing games. But it turns out there are lots of people who don't know anything about Fallout, who didn't know anything about role-playing games, who said, that just looks cool and fun and different and has lots of player choice, and I want to play that game. And so we feel like that there are lots of people out there who may not be hardcore gamers, but they're gamers. They own a PlayStation 3, they own a PC, they like to play games, and maybe they don't play 20 games a year, maybe they play 3. But we think if we make a good enough game, we'll be one of those 3. A good game is a good game to a hardcore, to a casual. And that's our belief, and so we're going to keep making games that we think are fun to play, that the hardcore will like, that the casual guy will like who only plays 2 games a year. I mean, I guess ultimately that'll be up for you guys to decide whether we lived up to the promise or dropped the ball on it. I certainly think this has the potential to be the best year ever for our company, but it's up to us to deliver on all these products and make them great and have them be big, successful, loved games that everybody wants to buy and play. And I think if we do that, then yeah, it'll be a great year for Bethesda. And it could be we're sitting here in December and you guys are talking amongst yourself saying, wow, Bethesda had the best year of any publisher. Their games were amazing and that was great. And then, 2012, we've got Prey 2 and a number of other games that we haven't announced yet. And, hopefully 2012 will be even better than 2011. But right now we're focused on doing Brink and making Brink great. Doing Rage, make Rage great, Skyrim. So we focus more on the things that we can control and work on. Our belief is that we want to give the player choices that the player believes actually matter. Because if they don't, if you could just give people random choices, like you could include in any game, you walk up and there's a panel with a button, and if you press the button, all of these people die. What does that mean? You gave them this big choice, but it doesn't mean anything. The difference between that and Megaton, where you get to go into a town and you get to meet these people and be like, I don't want to blow them up, or if you do blow them up, you go back and you see, wow, it's really gone. They're not just dead, but everything is gone. There's a big smoking radiated crater. It's when you give them something that has an Hunted is 3rd. So, but you're right, 4 of the 5 are first person, and I think that goes back to the question that got asked about handheld gaming, and these are the kinds of games we like. We like immersive first person stuff where you feel like you're a part of the world. We could make Prey 2 third person. We could make anything third person, but it seems to lend itself better to a sense of an immersion, to feeling like you are this character, you're in this world, making the action feel more frantic as opposed to controlling a character on the screen who it's just a bit harder to convince you that you're that guy. And so we like the impact on gameplay that first person has. That doesn't mean that every game that we do will always be first person. But thinking about the stuff that we're making that you guys don't know about, there's a lot of first-person games, so it's certainly something that we like and do. Right now we don't have any current plans for titles on those platforms. We tend to make the kind of games that we want to play and then make them available on whatever platforms will support them. So if the 3DS would allow us to take Prey 2 as it exists currently and put it on the 3DS, we would. But it doesn't, so we don't. It's not a primary focus for us. You know, I think we've kind of established who we are in terms of the kinds of games we like to make, and the kind of audience that we make games for. And so I don't know whether they'll be in our plans in the future, but at present they're not. It just doesn't fit the kind of stuff that we do. Looked at them. We continue to look at what they do and how we might use them. But right now, as far as specific things that we're using them for in our games, there's nothing that you're going to see here is taking advantage of those things. But we continue to look at them and the possibilities, and obviously if we find cool ways to incorporate them into what we're doing, we'll definitely do it. But we want them to be things that make sense, as opposed to we just included Kinect support for this game just so we could say we have Kinect support, but it doesn't make the game any better. Like, we want things like, oh, that's really cool, I would actually use that. So